Ever heard of a family sedan that eats muscle cars for breakfast? Most haven't. And that's exactly why it works. The Ford Taurus SHO doesn't scream performance. It doesn't flex at stoplights or rumble like a V8. But what it does do is quietly humiliate cars twice its price and 3 times its hype. This is a car that came from a rental fleet bloodline, but was secretly built for war. With twin turbos, all-wheel drive, and torque that hits like a freight train, the SHO is one of the most underestimated cars of the last 20 years. And today, we're going to prove it. Part 1. Ford's secret weapon. Built from 2009 to 2019, the 4th-generation Taurus SHO wasn't some concept or one-off trim. It rolled right off the assembly line in Chicago, Illinois, tucked between cop cars and commuter specials, and no one noticed because Ford didn't want them to. SHO stood for super high output, and they weren't joking. This car packed a 3.5-liter twin turbocharged EcoBoost V6, churning out 365 horsepower and 350 foot-pounds of torque. But the real story isn't the number. It's when that torque shows up. At just 1,500 RPM, the SHO is already pushing full force. That means instant launch power. No waiting, no drama. Just go. Paired with a smart all-wheel drive system, this wasn't a burnout machine. It was a backroad bruiser, a snowstorm assassin, and a highway hunter that left cocky drivers blinking in disbelief. Part 2. DNA of a sleeper. On the surface, it was just a Taurus. A name your uncle drove. A badge seen in every airport parking lot. But the SHO was a wolf in business casual. That 3.5-liter EcoBoost wasn't lifted from a parts bin. It was specifically tuned for this car, giving it a torque curve that felt more like a diesel truck than a luxury sedan. And while other sedans were moving to CVTs or gutless 4-cylinders, the SHO showed up with real guts. It wasn't just about straight-line speed either. The SHO sat on the same D3 platform as Ford's Police Interceptor sedan, which means underneath, it was already built to take a beating. The average driver would pass this thing without a second glance. But if you knew what SHO meant, you'd think twice before pulling up next to one. Part 3. Launch control in loafers. Let's talk drivetrain, because this is where the SHO truly earned sleeper status. The 6-speed select shift automatic wasn't the flashiest gearbox, but it was tough, responsive, and didn't mind getting spanked. And with Ford's torque vectoring all-wheel drive, the SHO had one job: hook and launch. And launch it did. Car and driver tested it at 5.2 seconds 0 to 60, which put it right next to V8 Camaros, Dodge Chargers, and early SRT8s. And here's the kicker: that's stock. No tune, no mods, just a full-sized Ford sedan quietly lining up and disappearing. With the right tires and weather conditions, SHO owners have smoked Mustangs, WRXs, and yes, even surprised more than a few Hellcats off the line, thanks to AWD grip, while those RWD monsters just spin. It didn't look fast, it didn't sound fast, but damn did it move. Question: do you want to go faster? Here's the thing, the SHO is fast stock, but if you're the kind of person who knows how to plug in a laptop and turn a wrench, this car becomes something else entirely. It's not just a sleeper. It's a monster hiding behind a minivan disguise. Because for just a few $100 in bolt-ons, this Taurus starts punching in a weight class it has no business surviving in. And yet it does. Part 4. Tuning the beast. Want Hellcat power without Hellcat insurance premiums? The SHO community figured it out a long time ago. Here's how you unlock the monster. Swap in a 3-bar MAP sensor. Re-gap the spark plugs. Add a cold air intake, a 170-degree thermostat, and upload a custom tune. Boom. You're now pushing well over 400 horsepower, and that's without touching the turbos or internals. With a slightly more aggressive setup, some SHO builds break into the 500 horsepower range while keeping full drivability. No overheating, no ticking time bomb, just brutal, accessible, real-world speed. And unlike high-strung sports cars that need race fuel and constant love, the EcoBoost SHO stays civil. You can drive it like a commuter during the week and absolutely destroy egos on the weekend. Part 5. The performance package Ford knew. Ford wasn't dumb. They knew the SHO wasn't going to stay stock for long, so they offered the performance package for the real lunatics. This wasn't just cosmetic fluff, it was a full hardware upgrade. Bigger brakes to stop all that mass, a shorter final drive for quicker acceleration, recalibrated shift logic and steering, and 3 extra coolers, engine oil, transmission fluid, and PTU for the AWD. That's track spec gear in a full-size sedan. Ford didn't just allow you to drive this car hard, they dared you to. Most companies pull power back when things get hot. The SHO with the performance pack, it keeps clawing like a street fighter who knows he can't take many hits, so he just throws haymakers. Part 6. Daily driver built to brawl. Here's the beauty of it all. The SHO didn't need to compromise. Inside, you got leather-trimmed sports seats, aluminum pedals, and a stitched dash. It didn't scream performance, but it didn't scream rental either. By 2013, Ford upgraded the tech game with Sync 3, giving drivers Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, better navigation, and a cleaner interface. You also had access to a Sony sound system that could shake your windows with the right playlist. Add in adaptive cruise control, blind spot monitoring, and rear cross-traffic alert, and you've got a sedan that could hammer the highway all day, in comfort. That's what makes it dangerous. It's not uncomfortable. It's not loud. It doesn't beg for attention. It just does everything well. And then breaks hearts when you least expect it. Part 7. Pop culture. Stealth mode. The Taurus SHO never chased fame, but it still landed a few cameos. Most notably, Men in Black 3. Ford gave the SHO to Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones as their futuristic patrol car. Sleek, blacked out, fast, deadly. It fit perfectly, because that's what the SHO was, a government-grade sleeper that didn't need to brag. Outside of Hollywood, it earned real-world respect, too. Esquire named it Car of the Year in 2010, not just for performance, but for what it represented. A return to affordable American power with brains and refinement. No flashy spoilers, no need to flex. Just a badge, a boost, and enough torque to make you forget what lane you're in. Part 8. Killed quietly. March 1st, 2019. The end. No press release, no final edition. Ford just pulled the plug on the Taurus lineup in North America, and the SHO went with it. They said the market wanted SUVs, crossovers, trucks. But what we lost was one of the last true factory sleepers. A full-size sedan with real power, real tuning potential, and real history. It didn't beg for attention. It just showed up, did damage, and disappeared quietly, like any good sleeper should. Part 9. A used deal that shouldn't exist. Here's the wildest part. Because no one paid attention, the SHO never blew up in value. Today, a clean used SHO can go for under $15,000. That's cheaper than a used GTI, a Civic Type R, or even some Camrys. And for that money, you get a twin-turbo V6, all-wheel drive, real leather, tech that still holds up, and power that can punch above its class, even stock. You don't need 6 figures to go fast. You just need to know where to look. And the SHO, that's the jackpot. The Taurus SHO wasn't built for influencers, track days, or Instagram clout. It was built for people who understood value, power, and subtlety. It came, it hit hard, and it left without a sound. But those who knew, they still know. SHO owners are a different breed. They don't need validation. They've already won, while everyone else was looking the other way. So, if you're out there, scrolling listings, wondering if this big, boring Ford is actually worth it, let me make it easy. Yes. Absolutely. Yes. Because when that boost hits, you're not driving a Taurus anymore. You're driving a legend.